this last week I've made probably those 3 closes. It would be 4 times more than I would make in a month in the last week, quite a bit more, and it's still just the start. So I think I need to continue to open my mindset up, but there's bigger horizons, there's new things coming, and I'm excited for it all.
Amazing. And you had a fourth sale there today, no?
Another one there today, and I do have a call later on today. So going into that with some high energy, and it wasn't even that big. That's another thing. It wasn't even that busy of a week. There was a little while ago where, you know, I was while I was already going down this road, I was having some troubles, and it wasn't just in regards to this stuff. It was on note of other things, and we just had a bit of a back and forth on it. I don't know if you realize it yourself. It was just a few things that you said, but I kind of took some time and thought about it. And the next at the first that first big close, right off the back of that, and then another one, and then the one just about half an hour ago, just now. So yeah, thanks for that. I suppose thanks for everything, and excited for everything that's to come.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's awesome to see. And shit, we've been working together for a while now, so I've got to see the whole sort of transformation kind of coming in, and it was really like low ticket products and all this, and now what you're doing now is essentially stepping into your power, from what I can see. And you are in your genius. You're doing the thing that you're meant to be doing. And I always saw it from day one. It just took you a while to sort of really
see it for myself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. And fuck, man, it's a really beautiful thing to see at the moment.
Yeah. And I know for a lot of people right now, like a lot of people are working from home and all these things, but for like a very long time, I wanted to be like location independent, and that's happened as well. So I'm here in Italy now, thanks to everything that's going on, making more money than I ever did before, and I know I'm still just sharpening the sword. There's a lot more to come, like, so I'm containing the excited emotion. I don't know if you can pick that up from my voice here, but yeah, man, I'm just hyped.
Don't contain it, buddy. Let it out. Sounds good. Nice one, man. Well, look, what was sort of like the biggest breakthrough that you had in these whole like months that we've been working together? Like, yeah, I know you touched on like a little bit of mindset and some things I said to you, but is there any sort of particular transformation you can kind of point to that's changed within you or your skill set or something like that, or maybe not?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's just pinpointing it all down to one thing. But like there's so much, like I have a background, of course, in my very first job out of university was in sales, making like 25 calls a day, cold calls a day for like three years basically. So I have quite a bit of experience there, and even in our first session, there was breakthroughs that I made on sales. So even considering at that point I already had those 3 years experience in corporate and B2B sales, making calls every day, had massive breakthroughs there in one call with you where we touched on some sales stuff. So tons there in sales, tons.
There's something I'd love to ask you about actually, Matt, because you had a bit of a background in corporate sales and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, you know, what's the sort of difference between what you learned there and basically the stuff like the guided discovery method and the whole selling with visuals and models that you've been through with the Modern Warrior? Like, what's the big difference there? Or is there a difference?
So the interesting thing, it's totally different, but it's actually also totally the same, because what I've learned with you is that like you're building human relationships, and human relationships are human relationships, and there's certain things that are fundamental for somebody to take a commitment with you, and that's whether it be like a relationship or somebody investing in training with you or somebody even hiring somebody for a job. People need to trust you, and people need to believe in what you offer. And the way that you communicate that, you've shown me really, really powerful ways in order to go about doing that. Things that I'd been doing sales for years and never even touched upon. And just in one session with you, even when we were touching on the messaging side of things and the hero's journey and how to communicate your hero's journey to show people a path forward without kind of activating some sort of defensive response from that person. Even 5 minutes of us chatting about that blew my mind. Like, it was all stuff that I realized that could have applied to what I was doing before, corporate sales, but I never came close to touching on. And in 3 years in that role, then I did e-commerce for, I continued to have the e-commerce business, but I was doing that solely for about 1.5 years, and then I went to do digital marketing and sales for Google, and never touched on what you brought up with one session with me. So it's totally different in that in all that experience I never came across selling with visuals, for example, and I realize now how incredibly powerful that is, and how important it is to have breakthroughs with people, getting people to see the other way, what you're offering, and see how what they're currently doing is not working. The ways you've trained me to do that, it's maddening. It's maddening how many people are out there doing sales for a profession and they have no idea that any of this stuff exists.
Well, cool, man.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. It's great to just hear you give some insight on this, because I know sales is really your sort of craft, your mastery, and you've really kind of experienced the whole rung, all the different industries and the corporate side of things and everything. And yeah, like it just seems like for me to just on the surface, you know, I haven't been around. I learned an incredible sales process off my mentor, which I've honed and crafted and made my own now, which you know of. But I didn't have too much experience in those industries. But at a glance, it's more based around selling. It's more based around pitching. It's more based around sort of persuasion. Whereas this sort of approach that I teach is completely, I wouldn't say it's counterintuitive, but it's kind of the opposite thing. It's about helping people feel seen, helping people feel heard, understood, but really helping people see their own bullshit as well, right? So they can actually sort of get real with what's going on and make empowered decisions, right? So I think it kind of facilitates that. It's very kind of humanistic, sort of real, genuine approach. And fuck, I don't know, like for me, when I got into coaching, things that used to excite me so much were giving people like aha moments. And that sort of process is just like one aha after another. So it's such an incredible thing to sort of facilitate. And we were chatting, like a lot of the guys in the call, it was like 9 or 10 of us on the call last night. And everybody's coaches and they all love that shit. They all love being able to hold that space and facilitate those sort of breakthroughs with people, because it's really, it's holding space, right? It's one of the lads even called it a bit of a sacred type of thing. And I think it is. And yeah, shit, man. It's like, it really gives you power, and you just have to.
But the thing about the breakthrough is there, like, I mean, what you've trained me with is a process, and there is a flow to that process. But this week, 2 of those clients, after one of the breakthrough exercises, the very first breakthrough exercise that we did together, the person was like, you could see the energy shift basically in them, and they were ready to go at that point. They were asking me at that point, like, how do we work together? Which is very different from a lot of the training methodologies, sales training methodologies out there, where you're like chasing people and you're tearing their throats out and all of this very Wolf of Wall Street sort of stuff. You're guided discovery.
Nice. Awesome, dude. Thanks so much for all that stuff, Matt. Look, if there's anybody kind of out there, if this message is kind of going out to people and people are sort of, maybe they've seen us seen Modern Warrior on the periphery or something, and maybe they're a bit curious, like maybe they're on the fence a bit, or they have, you know, they're just wondering about it. Like, is there anything you'd kind of say to those people in terms of like what kind of value or transformation or investment you might get from coming in to work with myself and the gang.
As I've said, I did one call with you and my mind was blown. And the value from that one call alone was insane. From that one call, I had more insight than I had from 3 years of cold calling people. And so the program, the training is incredible, but even just doing one call, if they're on the fence, hop on that one call, and I can guarantee that their mind's going to be blown, and they'll see the future, they'll see what can be done, and they'll get a path to do it. If they want to do that with Modern Warrior Coaching, if they want to do that with you, that's great. You'll see how they will see how they'll benefit from doing that. But even from doing that one call alone, their mind will be blown in a very positive sense.
Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of, it's hard to, you know, you don't want to toot your own horn too much, a bit either, like, but it's kind of hard sometimes to demonstrate like the value in getting someone into an environment like this. Like I'm working with the gang twice a week for about 90 minutes, and I'm literally there inside everybody's business, giving them insight, telling them what to say, telling them what to do, helping them create their own little breakthroughs and insights every single week. And it's literally like that structured process holds you by the hand for 90 days. And the amount of growth that people experience is just friggin' insane. And now for yourself, months and months and months down the track, like I want to get you in now to start doing some coaching. So what did you invest? You invested a couple grand, and now friggin' how many times you made that back over, right? Like on top of that, now
last week alone.
Yeah, right. So it's like now it's like, you know, I want to get you involved in the Modern Warrior project now as well. I want to get you on coaching, get you doing stuff. Like it's like when you can kind of get over your own BS and make a decision and get in with a crew of people who are really going for it, right? It's all these doors and opportunities just start opening up, and that's what's happened to me. So like I know there's just a lot of people out there, and I think you saying what you said on this call is really powerful because it might hit home with some people, it might connect with some people, and it might give people that little nudge that they need to actually just come in and give it a go and see where you end up, because because it's powerful, and I know it's powerful, and it's been hard for me to communicate the value of that because I found it a little bit uncomfortable myself in the past. But now I'm at a point where I'm seeing such ridiculous transformation and results in people, and just, you know, incredible change that people need to know about it. So thank you for the call today, man. Thank you for sharing some of that stuff.
Not at all. If you need me to scream about the benefits, if you still don't, I know you feel comfortable doing it yourself, but I'm totally happy to tell people that they need to get, if they're into this sort of thing, if they're into personal development, and if they want to change their outcomes in business, right, and they realize that in many ways the outcomes that they get in business are reflective of what they're doing internally. But that being said, you still need systems. You need systems to acquire clients, and you need skills to be able to close. If they see that they need that sort of thing, and if they value that sort of thing, I really think that this solution, this training is the way to go.